the winning entry on the air. Make sure to include the contact name and phone number of the organization that you are nominating. And thanks from your friends at WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Monday morning. Hope you're doing well. Yesterday, Robin, I spent part of my day just kind of chilling out, looking at goofy videos. And it's one of the things I do to, everybody has their own thing, what they do to relax, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I go to YouTube and I type in like funny dog videos. I don't know why, but I always get a kick. It started way back with what was that TV show called? America's Funniest Videos, whatever it's called, right?
Right.
And whenever they would show like a dog, there was one video of a dog carrying a big stick in his mouth, and he tries to go in the house, but the stick is too wide for the door.
Gosh.
And the dog can't figure out, just drop the stick or turn your head sideways. He keeps stopping. And there was another video I found too. It was a rabbit getting a bath. The rabbit is lying in the sink. I mean, just loving the fact that this water was pouring on him. So I was in kind of an animal frame of mind yesterday.
Funny.
And of course, I spent the day with my dog. Charlotte Reed is familiar with loving animals. She's a pet trendologist. We usually speak about dogs with Charlotte, but she, of course, is a pet, not just a dog trendologist.
Right.
She's always on the big shows, and she comes on our big show, our little show, I should say. But she's on The View, Fox and Friends, CNN, Today, VH1, and she has as her new sidekick in the last year or so, Dr. Michael Fleck.
Yep.
Hoping to say something online. He's a veterinarian. The two of them have become friends by phone.
Yes.
We've not met them in person. One day, they promise we will. Maybe I'll have to go see them instead of them seeing us. They have two homes, one in New York and one in Florida, I think. Yep. And they're in New York right now at the car show. Is that right?
Yep.
Charlotte Reed and Dr. Michael Fleck, good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Just spilling all our info out in the airways.
How you doing?
We're great. We're great. We love being in New York.
And you're at the car show, correct?
Yeah, we are at the car show. It doesn't open until it's just about to open right now. So we're excited to go in. But I have to tell you, it is huge and absolutely amazing to see all of these magnificent cars.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And so you can't. Where is it? Where is the car show?
Jacob Javits Center.
Oh, okay. Everything happens there, doesn't it? Everything happens.
Huge.
All right. So what's the connection between the pets and the cars?
Well, pets are part of the family, and you want to share life's experiences with them, whether you're traveling across town or whether you're taking a cross-country adventure.
Right.
So, because so many people spend time with their pets, they love to travel, we decided it would be great to share our information and knowledge about pets traveling in cars.
All right. We broadcast from the mall now, and not the other day, but maybe a month or so ago, one of the guys who works here noticed a dog in a car. And this is, Florida.
Yeah.
And so they called the security guard, they called the police, and it was a lady went in shopping and left a dog in the car. Not a good idea.
With the windows up.
No, it's not a good idea, and especially in Florida, and as we approach the spring, numerous states talk about don't leave your pet in a car. I mean, in a very short time, the temperatures can be sweltering. And not even, leave your dog in the car with the window down because it could be also stolen. So it's always a bad idea to leave your pet in the car. But, when you're thinking about buying a car and you do have a pet in mind, you don't want to leave it in the car, but you want to look for some of those great features that will benefit both of you. I mean, for one thing that you want to definitely look for is rear ventilation and climate control so that you can keep that pet cool when he's traveling in the car. You want to look for big interior space so he can be comfortable, whether it's in the back in a crate or whether it's restrained in a carrier bag on the seat or he's just sitting restrained in with a car safety harness. That's also important. You want to make sure you have flooring and upholstery options that are easy to clean if your pet's going to be on the seat.
Yeah.
Safety windows and locks, because that's really key.
Right.
And hooks and belts to secure those crates in. And
So-
you might even want to have cup holders so he could have a drink of water when he's traveling.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Now, is there anything that's been invented that you use in a car? Like, let's say, for example, you're on a trip with your dog, okay, and you go to a place and you have no choice. You have to go in to get something, but your dog is going to be in the car, and you say, you know what, it's just going to be 5 minutes. But is there something in maybe available online or something that would actually keep the environment of the car cool?
The only thing you can really do is leave the keys in the car and the air conditioning on, which is a horrible thing to do.
Yeah.
At one point, a Canadian publicist invented a thermometer which would text you to your cell phone what the temperature in the car is. But you know what? He never developed it. He got a lot of press on it. It was kind of like a scam. He got a lot of press on it and never developed it. So the best thing to do is, if you are going to a place like a bank and you're allowed to bring your dog, fine, take him in the car with you, take him in the bank, wait online, make sure he's polite. But really, if you're running errands with your dog, leave him at home. It's just not a good idea to leave him in the car.
No, it's absolutely the truth, yeah.
I mean, I called the police on somebody once. Somebody left their Yorkie in a car around the corner from my New York apartment. It was last summer in the middle of July, and I told the guy, don't do it. And he thought he was slick. He turned the air conditioning on, cooled off the car, and then, I walked away. I came back, 5 minutes later, and he left the dog in the car. I called the police. I called the ASPCA, and he got a huge citation.
Oh, wow. And what did he do? Did he leave the car running, or did he turn it off after you were out of sight?
No, he turned it off when I was out of sight, ran out of the street, and he had Jersey plates, and I reported him in Jersey, too.
Now, now let me ask you this.
For you.
What about the bigger vehicles, like the RVs? Will that get as hot as a car? Like if you were to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or can you leave the air conditioner on in the RV? I don't even know how that works. I've never had an RV.
Well, I've had an RV before too, and yes, you have generators that you use even if your vehicle's off. And that does keep the air conditioning on. But always remember, whether in the car or whether in an RV, to leave the windows cracked so that you have fresh air coming in. But the RVs are designed for living just like it would be in your home. So the same conditions you would provide for your home, you would have in the RV.
Oh, okay. Dr. Fleck, you sound like the Laugh Olympics. Have you ever seen the Laugh Olympics? You know, with Fred Flintstone is in the lead. You got a little echo going there. Your phone is different than Charlotte's, I guess.
What?
No, we have the same phone, and we actually have new iPhone rig mics, and for some reason, we're just getting some feedback.
But when you speak, I don't hear it. I don't hear the Laugh Olympics sound. Yeah.
Huh.
Do you remember Laugh Olympics?
Well,
I think that was before my time.
And Dr. Fleck, how about the pets that love to go for rides and travel, but they get car sickness? How do you help the owners deal with that?
That's a great question, and unfortunately it happens more frequently than what we would like. What one does is, it's mostly because of nervousness for the individual. And so if you go to the veterinarian, there's some prescription drugs that they can prescribe. I like about 3 different drugs. I use the azithromycin, or even the Valium or the Xanax. But it just depends on the size of the individual, how nervous they are, and how long of a trip that they're going to be taking. If they're going to go on a long trip, they need probably more care for that. If they're on a short trip, they need to put up with some of that.
Do you know, I was on
and also, if you're a pet...
Go ahead, Charlotte. Go ahead, Charlotte.
I was going to say that if you are traveling with your pet in the car and you're worried about car sickness, introduce your puppy or your dog to the car slowly. I mean, take him out to the car, walk him out on a leash, let him go inside, treat him a few times, then restrain him, and then treat him a few times before you actually go on a long cross-country trip. Start out by driving around the neighborhood. Once he, gets out of the car, treat him, then go across town, and then that way you build up to the trip. And if your pet is suffering from some motion sickness, you can start out by doing something as simple as lowering the window about 2 or 3 inches so that he can get some fresh air. That'll help a lot, and then if it continues to get worse, obviously see your vet and get meds.
Do you know when I wanted to show my son, because I grew up where you are now, but my son was born here, and I wanted him to see the city. So I went to Long Island, and we put the dog. We had the dog. This is when my son was little. We put the dog in a kennel, and then we went into the city. And we just missed the dog so bad. It was like, oh man, we're not even having fun. Yeah. We did the normal touristy New York City things, but it was like, oh man, we couldn't wait to get back to get the dog. It was just like the three of us, the dog and the two of us, you know. So kind of a memory. That same trip, by the way, let me tell you something. That same trip, we went to Quebec. And we tried really, really hard to learn some French phrases, and what that has to do with the dog. We learned the word, the phrase for don't drink the water or whatever. L'eau, L''EAU is the water, and then non-potable looks just like non-potable.
Right.
It looks like the same thing in English and French. So anyway, I went to get the dog some water at like a rest area up in Quebec. And on the mirror was a handwritten note that said "L'eau non potable," whatever, however you say it. And I knew right away, wow, don't give the dog this water.
That's
because if I can't drink it, the dog can't drink it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of times you recommend when you're traveling with your pet, bring bottled water because he's used to the strain of water where you live. So if you bring bottled water, he'll have less of a stomach upset. Put it in a cooler or freeze the water before you go on the trip. That way it can melt slowly. You also might want to have cup holders in the rear for your dog or a portable water bowl so that he can partake when he is thirsty. But really, as Dr. Fleck says, you want to keep your pet as comfortable as possible. That's why it's important to kind of have that larger interior and some of those safety features like rear ventilation and climate control.
So one of the notes that was provided for me, I would not have thought of this question on my own, but auto insurance as it involves your pet. I don't think I have anything in my auto insurance that says my pet will be protected financially speaking.
Yeah, we did a survey of a number of insurance companies to see if they did cover the pets on travel, and every insurance company we talked with are looking at that coverage for pets. But some do have the coverage for pets, and you have to also remember your home insurance policy. Many of them have insurance coverage, but because if it's an accident, usually it's an emergency care, it gets very expensive, so they put limitations on it. But you should check with your insurance agency and see if you do have coverage for your pet already, and if you don't, you just might want to have coverage for it.
Progressive has coverage up to $1,000. And State Farm also protects pets. It's a rider that you can add to your insurance. Like Dr. Fleck said, you want to talk to your insurance company. Pets are considered personal property. And as a result, in the past, we've always seen scenarios where personal property specifically, if you were in an accident that you did not cause and you were covered for personal property, they would pay. But now because vet care, like Dr. Fleck said, is so costly, they want to limit that, like they want to limit a lot of other things. But it's a good idea to have. It's also a good idea to have homeowners policies that covers your pet dog bite scenarios. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
And who wants to worry about vet bills or being sued or something along those lines. So definitely sit down, talk to your insurance, and get that pet covered.
Now, when people are going to horse shows and they're hauling horses, do you also have some kind of guidelines as to what kind of trailers that they should purchase?
You mean for the horses? Or
yes, for the horses, yeah.
Well, you know what? In a couple of weeks, we're going to be able to answer that question a little bit more honestly because we'll be covering the Kentucky Derby. And we'll be dealing with the different types of trailers for travel for the horses and that. So let's save that for 2 weeks from now.
All right. 2 weeks from now. By the way, Jeff, you're just tuning in. Charlotte Reed is on the phone with Dr. Michael C. Fleck. They're up in New York at the auto show, and they're on the phone. Of course, they are pet experts, and Dr. Fleck is a veterinarian, and they're answering questions about traveling with pets, etc. I'm just curious. Are you guys going to be like when I went to the World of Coca-Cola in Atlanta, I couldn't wait to get a Coke.
Yeah.
So when you leave the auto show, are you going to go buy a new car somewhere? What are you driving now, by the way? What do you have now?
We want a Bentley.
You want a Bentley?
We want a Bentley. You know, we like.
I heard him laugh,
have
by
a
the way.
Bentley. Because he wants it, so I'm thinking about buying it for his birthday. Do you think I could save up enough money by November, Larry?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Don't the girls on The View pay you?
Yeah.
I also like the new Mercedes. There's a new Mercedes out on the market, and actually, there's a nice room to put one of the pets or two of the pets in the back seat. But it offers like massage when you're driving and aromatherapy. I want the convertible.
Really?
Aromatherapy.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, can you believe it? Aromatherapy.
I have aromatherapy. It's a little. It looks like a Christmas tree. It hangs from the mirror.
Right, exactly. Or what? But I mean, there's so many great cars here. I mean, depending on what your budget is, you can definitely find something. I mean, one of the cars that I really liked was the Honda Fit HRC. It's a really nice car, especially for city dwellers. It's got they have something called magic seats. You push them down either way, and they fold flat. Your pet can either sit on the seat or he can sit in the rear. Porsche makes a nice, obviously, a nice SUV. Some of the Toyota choices. Most of the pet-friendly vehicles are SUVs because people need the room. But, there's always something for everyone, whether you go with a large or smaller vehicle. Also, Buick's got some great new cars that are extremely pet friendly.
By the way,
so I think that's helpful.
Look, I just went to the Javits Center website. They have a couple of webcams there. So you got to get in front of those webcams. Can you get in yet? It looks like it's pretty.
Yeah. We're in the lobby area. Actually, we're right by Kelley Blue Book and Auto Trader, which is kind of cool. And one of the things that I discovered at the show. When I went on the press day, if you go on the Kelley Blue Book and Auto Trader site, you can actually pick the features that you want and help find the car in your area. So, I mean, there's so many things that you can do. I mean, I always say it's really great to be able to take advantage. I mean, and most states really do have auto shows. Not only to buy a car, but it's a great way to go out and see a lot of the new technological advances. I mean, one of the things that Dr. Fleck and I were both so interested in was the new electric cars. And you can actually get online and go on a track and ride them.
Really?
And then,
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing that was super cool
It's simulated.
we got the opportunity to do the Jeep course. Jeep has a course right in front of the middle of the Javits area, and you get in a car with a professional Jeep driver, and he takes you on different, course options. So one is like the car is on a 45-degree angle with him up and you down because you're closest to the ground. You get to ride over logs to test out the suspension. Some of the logs are vertical and at different heights, and some of them are horizontal at different heights. Then you go up a 30-foot drop almost at a 90-degree angle.
Oh, my goodness.
And go down.
Sounds like a roller coaster.
Wow.
I mean, exactly. And I haven't been on a roller coaster since I was 12. I mean, I was a little nervous, but, Dr. Fleck sat in the front seat. So I figured, well, I'll be safe in the back.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, there's so many fun things that you can do. And then we saw the canine companions, right, Dr. Fleck?
We did. We saw the canine companions, but one area that we didn't get to was up at the top of the Empire State Building. This is the 50-year anniversary of the Mustang.
Oh, right.
And 50 years ago, they tore apart a Mustang and put it up on the viewing area of the Empire State Building, and they did the same this year. So you would see that maybe on CNN or Fox or so, but we still want to get up there.
Yeah, I saw it on. Yeah, I saw what you're talking about on the internet, and I saw how that's amazing how they cut that apart and put it into the elevator to bring it up there.
Yeah, it is, but I really had a hard time. I had a hard time here because we're supposed to be looking for safety and pets, but I really did have a hard time leaving the area that they had the Lamborghinis. I sure do love the dream.
Are there?
And to satisfy his fantasies, I made him get in a few of the cars, and I took pictures. So I think what I think I'm going to be doing is sending pictures to his children today, saying, "Look at the car that we bought."
Are there vehicles for pets that need to be like? There's a German Shepherd that doesn't have the use of his back legs, so when he and his owners walk past my house every day, he's on one of these carts to hold his back legs up, and then he walks with his front legs. Are there any kind of vehicles handicapped accessible for pets?
I mean, some people have actually, used a van and tricked it out, as they say, on cars and cribs, so that you can do that. A lot of times with dogs that are older or that have senior disabilities like arthritis, you could possibly buy a ramp to get your dog in the car. In that sense, that owner probably has a ramp for handicaps, so she can actually wheel his wagon with him in it right into the car. So a van's probably the best way to go with a dog like that, because you do need the bigger ramp.
You guys don't have a pet with you now, do you? Do you have a pet with you?
No, actually, we couldn't bring a pet in this year. For the last 2 years, in 2012 and 2013, I worked for GM at the auto show. In 2012, I hosted a breakfast with James Bell, who's their head of consumer affairs there. And we started earlier in the morning at about 8 o'clock, and we had all these pet influencers come in and bring their pets and actually test out the cars. I had tricked them out with beds and water bowls and ramps. And then last year, James and I did a satellite tour from the auto show. And Edmunds actually in 2009 wrote an article about pet-friendly vehicles. And then they redrafted the article again, or revised the article last year in 2013. So that's a good reference if someone's looking for a pet-friendly vehicle. But so last year we highlighted the features of the Denali, as the GM Denali, which fully loaded is still pricey. It's one of my favorite GM cars, but we did that.
I know that a lot of our listeners, even though we live in Florida, well, you know what it's like because you're here too. Everybody, the whole country comes down here for the summer, and we go everywhere else.
Right.
We leave here, they come here, and so everybody travels with their pet. Well, not everybody, but many people do. So before we run out of time, and because I know you got to wrap it up in less than a minute, do you want to give a website so we can check out more?
Sure. They can go to our Facebook page at Dynamic Pet Duo. We're going to be posting some more pictures up there today about some of the features, some of the fun at the auto show. Okay.
Dynamic Pet Duo on Facebook, and I think I'm a friend or a fan or whatever it is. I think I did that last time. Will you guys be careful? You're always fun to chat with. Have fun up there in New York. And how's the weather right now?
Beautiful. It's chilly.
It's cold.
All right. Well, remember, you promised you'd be in the studio one day here in Ocala.
We're gonna come.
Yeah.
We're gonna come. I promise.
What year?
But not in I don't know, but not in 2 weeks because we're going to be in Derby.
Be in Kentucky. Right. All right. Well, you guys be careful. Thank you so much for what you do for us.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Bye, you guys.
All right. We will take a little break and we'll be right back.
Like it or not, springtime is just around the corner, and so is spring cleaning and those winter projects you've been putting off. But don't worry, Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for 1 day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. It's the 118th Boston Marathon taking place today. Security very tight a year after the bombings that killed 3 and injured 260. This man was there.
I was right across from the second explosion last year, so it'll bring back a lot of memories. It was a crazy day.
36,000 runners participating, about 1 million spectators expected. Vice President Joe Biden to meet with Ukrainian leaders in Kiev tomorrow.
Despite an agreement signed last week between Ukraine, Russia, the U.S., and EU to disarm militias and return occupied buildings back to the government, a violent weekend in eastern Ukraine, including a deadly shootout at a checkpoint manned by pro-Russian gunmen.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern, a country music star, has died.
Nobody knows.
Kevin Sharp, who first gained fame with his 1996 hit Nobody Knows, passed away over the weekend from complications due to cancer. Sharp was 43 years old. Fox News, we report, you decide.
The world is going crazy. There's the potential zombie-geddon, the meteorite apocalypse, and dolphins are becoming too smart for their own good. Prepare your getaway car now at Napa. Stock up on Castrol GTX oil for just $3.49 a quart. $3.49. There's hope for us all. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores, sale price does not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 4/30/14.
And now, another golf confessional brought to you by Golfsmith. A man said he recently informed his wife he's going to start waxing his chest, only because the waxing place is right near Golfsmith, and they're about to have trade-in days. For a limited time only, when you trade in your old clubs, you get a 50% bonus towards new ones. He's got a lot of clubs to trade in, so he's going to wax his chest, eyebrows, back, and, well, just check out trade-in days at Golfsmith. Anything.
Like it or not, springtime is just around the corner, and so is spring cleaning and those winter projects you've been putting off. But don't worry, Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need
too.
my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. We're in Florida. Cloudy to at times partly sunny today, the high 75 to 79. Partly cloudy tonight, low 57 to 61. For tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasantly warm in the afternoon, high 79 to 83. On Wednesday, sunshine at